Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome to the channel. I came outside to film, but I just stepped outside, and before I get into the video, I want you guys to see this. Check this out. Do you guys see that? Do you see him right there? That little guy is an alligator. Just hanging out behind the pond, behind the house. You can see that some of my neighbors. There he is. He's just kind of chilling. He's floating. He's probably about 3.5, 4 foot. He'll get bigger for sure. But you guys see that little guy? Little Gus the Gator right there? Okay, so I just wanted you guys to see that before I got started. He's right there over my shoulder. But I want to talk to you guys a little bit about motivation today. Part of what I do here on this channel is not just showing you the ins and outs of reselling and showing you the tax laws and the accounting and all that sort of stuff, but I get a lot of emails and messages from people who are ready to give up, people who have had enough, people who don't know what to do next, people who are just plain like not sure where to go and what to do, like how to keep their business, rolling along. And part of what I do in my emails and my messages to you guys is give you some tips, some tricks, some motivation. And one I'm going to give you today is one you're going to want to grab your notepad for and write this down. So one of the biggest pieces of motivation and advice that I give to everyone is that you can't make $1 million in one day. You're not going to make $1 million in 1 week. You're not going to make it in 1 month, and you're probably not going to make it in 1 year. It takes time. Everything is a job. Everything is a lot of hard work, and everything requires effort and actually putting in the time. You get out what you put into everything, but you can't make $1 million until you make $100,000. And you can't make $100,000 until you make $10,000, and you can't make $10,000 until you make $1,000, and so on and so forth. So selling 1 item a day, selling 2 items a day, selling 3 items a day is where you have to start. You have to build from that. Use the momentum, use the eBay algorithm, use the Amazon algorithm, wherever it is that you sell, to start selling 1 item, 2 items, 3 items, 4 items that pay for the inventory, so you can start selling 10 items and 100 items and 1,000 items. When I started reselling in the summer of 2006, 2007, working on about 16, 17 years now, that whole year I probably made $5,000. That entire year, that first 20, I would say 2007, probably my first full year, I made literally a few $1,000, like $4,000 or $5,000, $6,000, something like that. And even over the next 2 years while I lived at home with my parents, I don't think I made more than $10,000 in a year, right? And that was me learning and me figuring it out and me getting the hang of what I was doing. When I moved into my first apartment about 3 years later, when I moved here from Florida in about 2009, I was making $2,000 a week, or $2,000 a month, excuse me. I was making about $25,000 to $30,000 a year. I barely got approved for an apartment. I barely had a car payment. I certainly didn't have this car payment. And I didn't spend money on food or alcohol or going out or entertainment or anything. I spent it on inventory that I was able to grow because I made my first 1,000, and then I was looking to make my first 5,000. And over that course of that 3rd year, that 4th year, I got up to $4,000 a month. I was making $1,000 a week, and I was all of a sudden, doubling what I did. So I started here, I built it a little bit, I doubled it, and then I doubled it again. And it took me another 2 years to double it again. I didn't make $10,000 a month in sales, or even profits or sales, either way, gross or net, probably until 2010, 2011. So what, like 5 years, 6 years after I started selling? So that was really the point in time when I knew I had made it and I knew I had something, when I made my first $10,000 a month. And I only did that like 2 months out of that year, in my 5th or 6th year. It wasn't until like 2012, 2013 that I was consecutively having $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 months. And I was finally able to say, I am a 6-figure seller. I did $100,000. So at that point, you're talking about 6, 7, 8 years into reselling. So the point of this video and the point of this story is that you have to build year over year after year, and make sure you're just doing more than what you did yesterday. Make sure you're doing more than what you did last week, last month, and last year. As long as you beat your number from last year, it doesn't matter how your January was or how your June was. There's always up and down months. I have up and down months. It doesn't matter how much you sold yesterday or last week, or that you had a bad Monday. It just matters that you're growing. Just keep putting in the work and keep growing and keep tracking those numbers. Keep using your programs or your spreadsheets or whatever you use, and you'll see the growth year after year. Make sure you do more this year than you did in 2022. And by the time we have this conversation in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, you will look back on the 10,000 you made this year or last year, and you'll be at a 30,000 or a 40,000 or a 50,000 if you just tack on an extra 10,000 a year for the next few years. And you'll be able to come to me and go, wow, Casey, I made $10,000 in 2022. I listened to you, I kept plugging at it, and in 2020, 2026, 2027, I was able to make $50,000, $60,000. So that's kind of my motivation and my lesson for you guys today, the video from today. And I appreciate, as always, you guys watching everything, checking it out. Go make sure you follow me on Instagram and TikTok. If you don't, my Instagram is @Rockstarflipper and my TikTok is Casey Rockstarflipper. If you could give me a follow on those two platforms, I really appreciate it. I'm going to be pumping a lot more content out onto those two. I know a lot of you interact over there and we have some great conversations. So can't wait to see you on Instagram and TikTok. Thank you for being here on the channel. Hit the like button and subscribe to this channel for more future videos. I have 2 really good ones coming out tonight and tomorrow. So look for those. If you're subscribed, you can turn on the notification bell as well. Enjoy your afternoon, guys. It's beautiful outside. I'm going to go enjoy my afternoon, and I'll see everyone in the next video.